Welcome back, Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me to another episode of Music with Nick. I apologize because of the voice. It's literally just like a thing now, and it's been like this for 3 weeks. So just like stay patient with me because it's literally like I can't do anything. I've done all kinds of stuff, um, medicine. I've tried different like products that you um, clean your throat with, and so it's all good. I don't feel sick. It's just my throat, but I think it's the weather. So I wanted to apologize because of the voice. I do have a cough, so if I cough if it just comes out, I do apologize. But moving on, I wanted to say thank you to Tony for sponsoring this marathon. This is going to be very interesting. So this is a themed marathon, and so basically I'll try not to say anything at the end because they're gonna bleed over into each other. So it is a theme, and the marathon we're gonna do today is called Angular Atmospheres Phase 1, and there's some really cool there's 3 bands that I know, or 3 artists that I know. We're gonna start out with Hans Zimmer, the German composer, movie composer, very famous in Hollywood for his work with Christopher Nolan, and I mean, you name it. He's really up there right now. He's like the new John Williams. So Hans Zimmer, we're gonna do from the movie Blade Runner 2049. We're gonna do Flight to LAPD. And I also wanted to thank Tony that he did provide us with 3 CDs of this marathon, which is I'm gonna name, but later. So the second is gonna be Tesseract. This is just simply called April. Let's see. Then we're gonna do the band Voyager, Water Over the Bridge. Let's see, and that's so the Tesseract and this Voyager CD we got from him, and then the next one is Devin Townsend Project Failure. We also got that CD, so thank you so much for those, Tony. Thank you so much for adding to the collection. I mean, to the never-ending collection that we have. Now after this, we're gonna do Leprous. We're gonna do the song Foe, and we're gonna finish it off with Haken, The Endless Knot. So let's see here. Okay, so yeah, this was purchased. This marathon was purchased or sponsored before I started to do the 5 song per marathon rule, so I have to respect it, so just for everyone that's wondering why it's 6 songs instead of 5, it's because this goes way back, but we haven't had really time to do this one, so I do apologize to Tony, and I apologize to people who think, why is he getting 6 when we're only getting 5? But that's the explanation, okay? All right, so let's go ahead. This is gonna get loud, there's a lot of prog in here, but also a lot of atmospheric stuff because I just know the Blade Runner. I know what I'm getting into, so but yeah, so I'm gonna try and at the end kind of like be quiet so it transcends over. And luckily I found all these songs on Spotify, so they're just gonna bleed over, and there's like no cut, so not like YouTube, so that this is gonna sound really cool. So again, thank you so much, Tony, for sponsoring the marathon, for making the video happen. I do appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Your comments are always super welcome. I know everybody loves those. very long ones, and I'm sure every a lot of people read them. I try to read them as best as I can. Um, but thank you so much just for the idea, and I hope everybody enjoys this marathon as much as I'll enjoy it. So I'm just gonna prepare some stuff real quick, and then I'll be back with the reaction. All right, so one more time, I cleaned my throat for the marathon. And I also wanted to let everybody know all this music was recorded after 2010. Most of these songs are 2016, 2017. So pretty newer stuff. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. We've heard some marathons by Rudy that go, 2022, stuff like that. So it's just like nice to see newer music being proposed to the fans of the channel. And so yeah, so here we go. So I have seen the movie Blade Runner. Of course, I highly recommend the first one and the second one. Ridley Scott really set up an amazing universe with the first one, and Denis Villeneuve did the second one. Really cool. Like, if you like sci-fi but smart sci-fi, not too much action, then I do recommend the movie. So really, Blade Runner is my favorite movie of all time. The first one, though. Okay, so this is from the second movie, and this is a scene where you basically are in this futuristic, like dystopian city, almost wastelandish, but overpopulated. It's amazing how they shot this whole thing, and it's just, even if you can just watch a video of this scene, it's just amazing. But here goes the interpretation of Hans Zimmer. The first soundtrack was composed by well, I guess I call him Vangelis or Vangelis, but it's Vangelis. But yeah, so here we started off. So I'll try to do my comment in between the songs, and then at the end, let it bleed over into the next one. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go. So you can hear like so the first track, of course, I didn't want to interrupt because it's oh my god, I guess I'm gonna have to cut that out. I didn't want to interrupt the first track because it's so legendary, you know, that very fine line that you hear, and it sounds very much like the first movie, the Vangelis style with the drumming that you know, Hans Zimmer incorporated, and it just sounds very threatening, and you see the city and that distorted sound that you hear is almost like the engine of the cars, because there's flying cars, and it's set up so cool because the first movie basically took part in 2019, but was filmed in 1984. So people were thinking, okay, in about 30 years, this is what it's going to look like, you know, 35 years. And well, I mean, not exactly, but you know, remember back in the 80s, we all thought that by 2010s or 15s, like Back to the Future, we had flying cars. But well, it still works pretty well. You know, the movie doesn't look anything like dated, or it's just a different timeline or time reality. But yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. So, but I loved how the whole theme of the first song by Hans Zimmer, this epic, you know, movie score, passed over into the song by Tesseract, because it also has that kind of like, you know, that almost has like the same kind of like drumming pattern, or not exactly drumming, but you know, that percussionist sound. And I like that it's not very heavy. It has these layers of atmospheres, and the singer is not too aggressive. And I like how it basically is building up now into the section where I paused, but I did want to talk about the transition between the one and the other. Really cool idea. It really worked. So and yeah, and I like this. It's not too, I mean, it could have been like, you know, but it's in the same pace, and I like that. So very cool. So I'm gonna go back, and very cool band, Tesseract. I've never heard of them. The only bands I've heard was, of course, Hans, then Haken, and Devin Townsend project. But see, it's in different order. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna leave the song, let it bleed over, and then once we get to Voyager, about midway through, I comment again. But yeah, this has a very nice flow. I like this kind of like dystopian vibe that it has from start, you know. So here we go. Very cool, like syncopated drumming there. Guys, don't be scared, okay? You're gonna make it. I know it sounds heavy, but you have to listen to the atmospheres, and I know it's very heavy, but it also and I don't even know what tuning they're in. But I'm sure it's not 440. It's not E. They must be in C or something. But this is, I'm sure they're using like 8-string guitars or some stuff like that to get that almost like bass, that bassy guitar crunch. Very this is a style they call gent, you know, when it's very like the guitars are very toned very, very low, but they use instruments that are very like a lot of strings on there. But I love that it's still very atmospheric, and the drumming is slow, and the singing is very, very, very nice, you know. So there's a lot of people that don't really listen to metal, but yeah, I think you should stick to this, you know, because it's not that heavy, you know. It could be so much heavier, but I'm really enjoying this Voyager Water Over the Bridge. Really cool, crunchy sound, really nice progressive drums, and so it's like slowly building, you know, the whole marathon. So let's keep going.
It seems that way. Sense what makes a little sense, rather pleasant insignificance. Oh, sense that drops of inner sanctum in the troubled stream. It's water over the bridge when it's everything I wish. Water over the bridge. One lonely walk makes it seem
good because I mean, these atmospheres sounds super like, it sounds very positive and it sounds like, very bright. And I love the singing. It almost reminds me a little bit of Tears for Fears. Very cool for a metal setting. Really, really cool. I'm really curious how this is going to connect to the next song because this actually reminded me of Devin Townsend, and Devin Townsend is next. So Tony did a lot of thinking here. So I appreciate that. Awesome. Let's go a little bit back. I just want to repeat that section.
We've only really just begun. We know we've really just begun. We know we've really just begun.
Like, I'm not kidding, but Devin Townsend, he's like on a different level, this guy. Like, honestly, I mean, his singing is just fantastic. I mean, it's like he can do it all, like opera, metal, growl, just very high. You always think that he has all these vocalists, but it's all him. And I just saw, I think it was another marathon. I think it was I think BMAG who requested it, or RG. I'm sorry if I don't remember, but it's a lot of music. But it was Devin in the studio singing just with a guitar, and my God, this guy, he's a genius. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. And just the guitar, the guitar, like crunchiness and the whole atmosphere that he generates with his music. He's so versatile. It's ridiculous. Like, very cool music. It's just like his music is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's very good. But yeah, I mean, I get literally like chills, when I hear this. So really cool. Really cool. And I love it's just going with the same vibe. So Tony listens to a lot of music just to be able to fish these out, you know. So really cool. Okay, let's go back a little bit, and I'm gonna try and shut up because this is beautiful. My god, this solo was freaking amazing. Like, that's literally how I would play a solo in that setting. Like, you can, you know, nice, beautiful, liquidy legato lines, you know, preferably, you know, going out of the chord a little bit, you know, a little bit of outside play. And he was using this pitch thing. It was it was reminding me of Alan Holdsworth, of course, but that's what he does. You know, he's never inside. He's never playing from the root. He's always kind of like outside of the box, and that is just a godly sound to my ears. You know, maybe. And especially in a metal or rock setting, it works so well, you know, when you apply more of a jazz attack, you know, and then with this sound, I mean, it just sounded like God himself was playing the electric guitar, you know. I'm sure it was him, because I mean, he's just very talented, and man, but that solo is just, I would just like to listen to it again right now. Very cool, but the whole thing, and also Transcendence. I mean, he really hit the name here. Great album. I'm happy we own this. So yeah, let's keep going with the Devin Townsend project. He's what a master, man. So as you can see, the theme continues with the it's, I mean, it is distorted guitars, but they're basically very slow and atmospherical, and it's all very, you know, it's not that heavy. It's all very, at least for me, digestible, and I can appreciate it more like an orchestra. My mom would always say that when I was playing like metal, it's like, this sounds like classical music, but with distortion. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. And I've heard that from other people afterwards too. So yeah, definitely also very, has a lot of layers, to it, this music. All these bands have a lot of layered expression, very thick bass lines, the drumming very, I don't know, just like proggy, but not too much, but the guitars here are really shining, and just the singing is very like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it just sounds very, man. I do have the word in my mind, but it's just like very ether. I don't know. I can't find the word. I'm sorry, but it sounds just like it comes like from the heavens. It's very I don't know, very beautiful. There's like, maybe there's here and there like a growl, but it goes so well with the whole atmosphere. It's very atmospheric. This whole marathon is very I don't know, but it sounds like, man, I can't find the word, but I guess you know what I'm trying to say. Very like, god damn it, I don't know what word. It just sounds like, yeah, from the heavens, from above it comes. So yeah, well, you make up your own mind. You let me know what you think, okay, in the comment section. Okay. Said it. So yeah, it just feels like, I looked it up now because I'm like, okay, I have like this word in my mind in like 3 other languages, but not in the one that I'm trying to speak. So it's like etheric, it feels very, from the heavens or spiritual world or plane of existence. That's what I was trying to say. And I think I said it. I said F, and then I stopped. I was like, I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, I think this whole thing feels very etheric. So if you don't know what that means, look it up. I'm just kidding. No, I know you know what that means. But yeah, that's how I feel. This whole thing is just very like, it has like I said, from the heavens, it comes from the heavens. It has a spiritual feel to it. Yeah, it sounds very positive, So even like I said, the guy right now, he was screaming, but it still feels part of, so There you go.
Ourselves onto the harvest. The
What did I tell you? Another one from the Book of Holdsworth. I mean, if you if you have listened to Alan Holdsworth as much as I have, you basically, I know every line he does. I know every idea he has ever laid down, and I know this is directly from his like bag of tricks. This outside playing, very very smart. You know, even like these tremolo, like wait, what? Like just like it's. If you ask this guitar player, what's your influence? He's gonna say Alan Holdsworth. It's just that's the way it is, man. Especially metal. And I love Haken because, and even Michael Romeo, the guitar player of Symphony X, has said Alan Holdsworth. I mean, every guitar player that's technical and that's very expressive basically borrows a little bit, you know, from Alan Holdsworth because he was the master. And again, the solo, very jazzy, outside playing, you know, specific scales that they use, and then this whole like legato, the legato approach, and then these like little whammy bar they're like expressions in it, but it sounds so Holdsworth. So really cool. I love it. I mean, Haken is just like, man, I every time I hear them, they're like, oh man, Dream Theater. You know, you have to, you have to, like revolution. Like, I mean, they're not gonna change, you know. And Petrucci doesn't play these solos. He's more like a melodic player and very fast, but this is just a little bit more interesting, you know. So let's go back, and we're about to finish. Haken, really cool. I love, you know, that they're very technical, and but they also sound very, you know, just new. You know, it's like there is some and maybe some purists like metal or rock purists would be like, whoa, like are they like using like electronic sounds in there? But I mean, come on, you know, keyboards have always been incorporated since the 80s, and maybe not in a like electro, like techno setting, but I think it's very revolutionary and it sounds great. It sounds really cool. And I mean, the different time signatures they're using here and like the whole prog element is really, really astonishing. The singer is just top notch. Like, I wish, James Labrie would come close, but unfortunately not. It's just a different generation. Haken is obviously a band that sprung off of Rush and Dream Theater and, and all these progressive rock bands. But they're much more technical and they're a little bit more adventurous when it comes to solos and not so, rock, or they go a little bit more into uncharted territory. And I like that, I appreciate that. It sounds more like something like Watchtower, like Ron Jarzombek, stuff that is very misunderstood and not very popular, and unfortunately, because it is so, what is this guy playing? Like, why is he playing jazz in the middle of a metal song? But that's what makes it so cool, because it's progressive, but it's also jazz fusion or metal fusion. So really cool. I love the marathon, Tony. Thank you so much. Every track had something very, very special, very, very. And then, of course, all of them had the same, vibe, like the one that I described, ethereal, etheric. But yeah, it's just like it had like this really great singing, great guitar riffs, amazing drumming, and that was the theme. And I think it was very well put together. Great marathon, and I guess it's great. Great name, Angular Atmospheres, and phase 1. So let's see what Tony comes up with in phase 2, if he ever does phase 2, or I'm sure he already has. But but thank you so much, Tony, for this, for sponsoring this, for making it happen. I know you guys take hours out of your lives to put these marathons together, to make them work and to make them sound cool and all that stuff. So I do appreciate it. I hope a lot of people will listen to this. I don't know if I have to come up with like specific like techniques to make people listen to the marathons. I don't know if it depends on the picture or the title, or just the artists. But I mean, I'm trying different things. Sometimes putting the name in the marathon of the sponsor is like, it's cool, but it also, you have to take into account that people are like, well, what is this? Like, I'm not going to listen to this. I don't know who that person is, So you have to, I stopped putting the name in the marathon because YouTube, a person that randomly goes on YouTube is going to be like, well, what's a Tony marathon, So I kind of like try, and I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm still going to put your name in the description, but I think in the title is like something I should stop doing because it's counterproductive. It's people don't know what a Matt marathon is, or a RG marathon, or a BMAC, or a Greybeard. I think people don't click on it because of it, because it's like, I don't know what that is. They want to see the band names. They want to see who is in the marathon. What are we doing? So I think this is a good opportunity to just talk about that, and maybe also the ones that I already have, maybe change them. I can edit those. They're not set in stone. I can always work on that a little bit. And there's a lot of marathons that have the name of the requester. Maybe if I change that a little bit around, maybe they're going to get more views and we're going to get more fans of your requests, you know, and because those are your marathons that you put together. And I think it's counterproductive, you know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this marathon, what you thought of the music, which was your favorite track. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with Devin on this one, and because of the solo, and Haken because of the solo. You know, I'm a Holdsworth freak. But all of them were beautiful, very, very nice atmospheres, and very technical, nice tunings, and all great overall progressive like metal and rock. So really cool. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.